according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. There has been much said regarding this particular book this week already, and I have sat and just enjoyed the preaching from these fine ministers. It's a blessing just to come and to learn from different ministers and their different views and their knowledge and their abilities. It's a blessing to us. You don't have to preach, just be here. You should go back home a little better than when you came. I don't just come to share what I have, but I come to get something. And if I don't get anything, I feel like you all have failed me. So we just thank God for being here. Praise God. Praise God. In love, he predestinated us. After reading this particular text and viewing the book and trying to get a handle on what Paul was dealing with here, in love, he predestinated us. It seemed that Paul was dealing with a deep problem that had troubled the Jews and Gentiles for quite some time. The Jew was under the impression that they were special to God, not just on Old Testament time, but they was God's special people, and they had an upper leg on everybody. And this thing became a problem in the church, whereas Paul had to deal with it almost in all of his books. He talks about predestination. God has chosen us. You're special. Because there was a problem. Peter had to deal with this problem between the Jews and the Gentiles. For in Acts 10, he had to be taught by God that there were no difference under the Christian dispensation between the Jews and the Gentiles. But in this book, seeming that Paul is aiming at the idea that the Jews felt that they was better than the Gentiles. Their relationship to God was more prominent than that of the Gentiles. It seemed that they was feeling that the Gentiles was an afterthought. They did not come here through love, through proper channel, but they came through just a careless accident and was not begotten through love and affection. The Jews boast of their relationship to God, both through Abraham and the Lord. And when the Gentiles came in, they had a problem with it. Somewhere in the Old Testament, they had formed a conclusion that they was the only people that will have access to God. And when the Gentiles came in, it created a problem for the Jews. They didn't know where to put the Gentiles. We thought the church, the one true church, would be just for the Jews. But now we have learned that there are other folk who are trying to get in the same church. And something is wrong here. If they are in here, there must be something wrong here. So they are saying now we are the natural children. And these Gentiles must be foster children.